Early bird catches the movement snack. Two early birds. It's no cheaper, you know, if you come on early. It's not some kind of early bird discount. You know I'm the cheapest girl in the room. I purposefully tuned in a little bit earlier just to allow people to remember this session and put down what you're doing, stand up and come and get snacking. Weird times, strange times, and the comments that we've had from these sessions has just been incredible, really. I don't want to downplay the magnitude of the situation that we've all going through to live our lives, but to be able to contribute a little bit of something and connect with people, and rest assured my need for that connection is as great as yours. So I need to say, Dillis, I hope your husband's tuned in. Thank you so much. That message was wonderful. Thank you. I hope he enjoys it. And in light of that message, I'm going to add a little bit of something in today around if standing up is difficult for you in a lower chair, what we can do to think about perhaps improving that. I think it's a 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning, and we start the movement snack. The second, day 2. From the comments coming in, we've got Scotland, we've got Hungary, we've got Wales, and we have England, from what I can see. Should we do it? Ready, steady, go. Good afternoon, welcome. My name is Bex Townley. This is Day 2, movement snack 2, or movement bout 2, whatever you want to call it, of our Make Movement Your Mission initiative. We have Spain joining as well. Following this morning, I'm going to dive straight in just to say, how did you do after this morning's 10-minute bout? Really good for me to see your comments, people feeding back what they're trying, what they find difficult, what they're able to do. This is a can-do approach. We can decide to stand to do it and decide to sit to do it, and anything in between. We're going to dive straight in. What I have planned for you today, what I've prepared for you today, is some continuing with the circulation boosting. That's important. I'm going to add an extra movement to that, just to consider that our legs move in more than one direction than up and down. We're going to get back to the sit to stands because they're critical and crucial, and we're going to add in a little bit more strength. That's our 10-minute snack. Do what you can. Rest when you need to. Pause if you need to. In general, we're just thinking 1 of something, 3 of something, 5 or perhaps 10 of the strength stuff. So let's do it. Picking up the position then, you decide whether to sit or whether to stand. Let's move through our preparatory positions. So in seated first, if you're standing, be upwardly mobile already, and you can start your circ boost march. Let me just talk through these seated positions. Sitting tall, you doing the work, not the chair back. Give yourself some support at the side if you need, and this is going to make it easier to stand. So let's just come forward, and your buttocks are just forward of centre. In the chair then we can start the circulation boosting march. Thanks to my mum, I've dug out a lighter piece of carpet here. I'm hoping you can see my feet and how my feet and ankles are moving like so. Really trying to activate the ankles and the feet to help support our standing work. So in seated, you're here, one arm, two arms, or two together. Steady pace, the right pace is your pace. Keep going with that if you're seated. In standing, it'll be here, one hand on the table, or two, your pace. Either stand tall and bring in the arms, or if you need to think and consider a little bit more your balance and your feet, that's okay. This circulation boosting does what it says on the tin. It boosts the circulation, and that's significant if you've been sat for a while. Jump up and spring into action and expect the body to respond. Give it time to adapt and be ready for these movements. Take a pause. So if you're happy to stand, stay in seated. If you're seated in the chair, I'm going to pick it up from here. Adding in another movement, and it's just another leg and foot movement. Okay, so as you can see now, I've just slightly changed the angle of where I'm placing my toes. And I've added this one in today because I've increased the movement around here at the hips, but also in consideration for something we're going to do in standing in a minute. So I really want the ankles ready. So we're just trying to tap the toe on the floor. Keep going on that in seated, please. And in standing, it's the same. And if you can have a look at my feet, I'm on a slight angle and I'm really trying to articulate the ankle. So it's a toe tap and return. Toe tap and return. Make this steady. When you come back to return, get your balance. Look if you need to. You can get loads of information and feedback by having a look to see what's going on. Here for support, all the usual points for upright as you can. Okay, just take a pause, take a breathe. That was our circulation booster. This morning, for those of you that joined live or after, we did some sit to stands. We're going to repeat those. They're fundamental. They underpin everything we do. We need to be able to stand out of a chair to go and do all the things we need to do. If standing isn't an option or it's not right for you, we can continue with our jockey lifts. Okay, so in the seated position, you're forward, your heels back and down, lifting upright. Let me turn the chair all the way around so you can see this. Slightly forward, here's the jockey lift. That could be small or just going, pushing the weight through the heels. If you're happy to stand and you're good to stand, we want all of that. And this is a power up, get your balance at the top, stand up fully upright, really upright, feel for the chair, and slowly down to sit with control, with control, with control. Pick which one you want to do and keep going with that, either the jockey lifts or the full sit to stand. I want to layer something in, keep moving, keep going. If that first sit to stand is hard work for you, try this. Just do one sit to stand, push yourself up to stand, get your balance, keep some support, lots of options here. And now just lower a little bit slower. You'll probably find that you have a bit of a bump landing at the end, but that's okay. Okay, so we can perhaps improve that stand movement by controlling the down movement, and you'll find that you'll have a little bit of bump, but try and hold on to that as long as you can. Okay, let's just do 1, 3 or 5 if you can, sit to stands, either seated jockey lifts or all the way up. Go on, we're going to have a look. Not really. I wish I could see you, but I can't. I have to believe you. The sit to stands is in the calendar, in the I Can calendar here. with the key points. Okay, so that's one that's in the active calendar. That's the sit to stands. Happy with that? Don't wait for me just to do these again. Think about how you're standing and think about how you're sitting in every chair. I'm going to keep coming back to this chair rise, it's critical. Okay, here's something new. It's a strength activity that focuses on the lower limb, the lower legs, the ankles and the feet. It's also in the active calendar. It's actually in May. Remember, it's a calendar. It's actually in May, but you can see it here. Gives you some visuals. I'm going to show you what it looks like now. I'll show you the standing option, and then I'll show you the seated option. Standing option, up from position, pick your support, steady and stable here, or steady and stable here, whichever you prefer. Look down at my feet, I rise up and lower with control. And we're trying to push, to drive up onto the balls of the feet and then lower with control. Continue with that. 1, 3, 5 or 10 if you're happy in standing. In seated, it's great in seated because you can really see what's going on, and we really want to prepare the ankles. We haven't quite got the load of the body that we want, but it's a good start. Have a look. So bring the heels back a little bit. Same posture points here, and then you're just going to drive up and see if you can almost give the calf muscles here a squeeze at the top and then lower down. And you're leaving the balls of the feet behind. I've worn my red shoes specifically for this. I hope you can see. There. So push up and then lower, 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 lower down the heels. Heel raises. Now, if we strengthen the back of the legs, we need to strengthen the front also. So it's important that we have strength so that the joints can work in all directions. Let's have a look at toe raises. For this one in seated, step the feet slightly forward. And again, have a look and glance, and you're picking up the toes and then slowly lowering down. And you'll feel this one in the front of the shins. That's okay, that's usual. Pick the toes up and then lower down with control. Keep going with that if you've chosen the seated position. If you've chosen the standing position, exactly the same. We need to consider, now that I'm in standing, it's also probably going to challenge balance. So give yourself lots of support, as much as you need. And then we pick the toes up and lower down. You may find that you haven't got a lot of lift. That's okay, that can come as we improve mobility. If you feel wobbly at any point and you need to take extra steps, feet down, carry on. So we're holding on, steady and stable, pick the toes up and put them down again. That, folks, is the movement snack for lunchtime. So I have the joy and saying well done if you stuck with me, and I know some of you have done all of these stacks. So we've done 5 of 90, which is great. The movements we've done today are in the active calendar. Don't wait for me to do these. Do these when I go now and a little bit in between. I'm going to be here back at 4 o'clock. Key message, keep moving. In the chair, sit less is good. Stand up is better. Move is best. Thanks. Look forward to your comments. Well done. See you at 4.